Hey, just before I begin, just want to say real quick, I want to apologize. I didn't get a video out yesterday, and I'm really not, well, I have a video ready, but I went ahead and scheduled it for Friday because I saw a very interesting video that I want to talk about real quick. It's not going to be covering the heavy subjects that that video talks about, more kind of like about my history with YouTube. The video that was supposed to be coming out is Cry of Fear. However, that's not coming out just because there's so many issues I was having with not only recording, but streaming. I mean, the streaming just went terribly. So I lost a lot of that footage, but then on top of that, I couldn't really record video. It's just recording for some reason, but I think I finally have all that stuff figured out. Hopefully it should be working. From the testing I just did not too long ago, it seems to be working. So we're going to go that it is working, and hopefully we're going to have more frequent videos of that. Pretty much that's the only update I really have. Yeah. Let's talk about this video. Okay, so before we go into the subject matter at hand, I just want to point out the video that I have currently playing on screen. It's by Ambient Renders, and it's called Spend the Night in a Not So Relaxing Zombie Safe Zone. I highly recommend that you guys should check it out. It's actually pretty cool. But anyways, on to the main subject at hand. Just recently, I ended up watching a video called PickASideYouTube, and it covers some pretty heavy-handed subjects that I'm not going to be covering today because it's not really my section of YouTube. That's not really what I do. That's not really what I ever did. I don't do stuff like that just because, I don't know, I find I don't really have the skills to be able to like take care of such delicate subjects. You know, I'm pretty heavy-handed, so I don't want to be doing something wrong, especially when it could actually hurt people. Yeah, I've kept it more to like the gaming side and kind of like the commentary side, just kind of like more as a hobby. And I've done that for such a long time as a hobby, mainly because I never really saw myself doing this full time because it was something that was kind of like frightening to me. And the reason it's frightening is a lot of the same reasons that they covered in the video. Even though it was something I wanted to do full time, I felt like YouTube could really just kind of like rip away my livelihood on a whim and not really care. Like even when I was doing it as a hobby, the videos that I put up and the videos I put more work into at the time, they all pretty much got claimed by like random like made up companies. And when I tried to like appeal them and stuff like that, it took forever. It took like a month or so. I mean, you know, I wasn't getting any views, but still like it kind of like sucked that if they ended up becoming anything, if I decided to make it a full-time, you know, job, it was going to be just taken away, given to some random company I've never heard of, and they get paid all the work I put into everything. I kind of ended up never really dedicating myself to it. I'd come and go, just kind of like do it for fun as a hobby when I could, but now it's really something I want to do more closer to full-time. And the only reason I'm coming back is because it seemed like a lot of the stuff was being fixed and they're kind of like being a lot better about certain things. But that's only because I came to a realization that most of my content was more leaning towards that kind of like advertiser friendly content, just because like subconsciously I never realized I was kind of like slowly moving myself into that box. Every single time I think of like something really funny or like out there to kind of like go do or make content with YouTube, I think again and I'm like, no, that's not really something that's gonna go too well, because I mean I've had the channel for so long, now it has sentimental value to me. So one of the worst things that could possibly happen to me, YouTube strikes my channel, bans me, because then kind of like all the history I have on this channel goes away along with that. It's really something I would like to avoid. However, I do want to talk about the reason I kind of wanted to start talking about this. So the whole reason I really decided to, okay, I'm gonna sit down and make a video about this, is because as I was watching Mama Max's video on the subject, they covered a lot of things where YouTube was saying things like they're here for like small content creators, and as somebody who fits in that box, I could definitely say when, where, how. You know, it's kind of like, it was kind of like very upsetting hearing stuff like that, especially from YouTube, saying things like, oh, you know, we're doing our very best to cater to content creators and what their needs kind of like imply. However, everything that I have found wrong with YouTube is still there. They've gotten better in certain areas, but I mean, they're kind of like going out their way to do like a lot of things that don't make any sense until you put in the context of like, oh, they're doing it for their advertisers or their big time corporations or the media overlords that decide, oh, you know, I'm a big company. I'm here, I'm paying, you know, thousands, if not millions of dollars to like make this content, and it's getting downvoted, and your algorithm is saying that due to my video getting downvotes, I shouldn't be showed as much, but I want to be, you know, top #1 on the trending page, you know, for about a month. So why can't that happen? And then YouTube just deciding, okay, we'll just get rid of the dislikes. We'll tell them it's for small content creators so they could get boosted or something like that. And then I thought to myself, is it really just going to get to the point where they're going to take away the likes on videos? Because like in my mind was like, okay, if they took away the dislikes to help smaller content creators, what if like major companies start saying things like, oh, our videos aren't getting the likes that we thought they were supposed to get, you know, we spent all this money, we need those likes to be either higher or do something about that. And they can't like, oh, you know, these small time content creators, you know, they're getting a bunch of likes and we're not getting the likes that we're supposed to. And I feel like YouTube is just going to take away the whole like system, just take it away completely and say, you know, the likes weren't being evenly distributed amongst all content creators, so now, you know, nobody gets likes and all videos get bumped up due to like views, probably something else with the algorithm that they're probably going to say, you know, what goes. But it's ideas like that that get me worried. The main reason I decided that, okay, I'm going to sit down and make this video. It's something important to talk about, especially now that I want to do this full time. It's more now important to my career. I might not be covering the subjects that PickASideYouTube has decided, but it's pretty blatantly clear that something is going on. I know it might be difficult for such a mega corporation to be able to curate such a large amount of videos coming in daily, but I mean, they've shown signs that they are capable of doing these things. They're able to do them for media companies with the copyright algorithm. They're able to do it for mainstream TV by tossing them up on the trending page. Like they're able to do these things in one direction, while all of a sudden they're saying that they can't do them in the other direction. And for a certain perspective, I can say I understand that they are a company, they have a bottom line, they have to make money, and from what I can tell, YouTube has done nothing but lost the money simply because, I mean, it must take like a lot of power and a lot of storage space for all the servers and everything. I mean, the whole staff to be able to do everything. For pretty much all they're doing is making a wide advertising connection campaign. However, I feel that in itself should be making a lot of money. I can't see why other companies wouldn't want to have their brands kind of like tossed up with these things. I mean, I've watched mainstream television. I mean, we all have. We've seen that these companies sponsor other mainstream podcasts, comedians, TV shows that are very raunchy and cover certain subjects that, I mean, these guys doing their investigative journalism with these bad people, like you see, I can't even use the words out of fear that the algorithm is just going to pick it up and be like, oh, bad word, so you know you're getting tossed into the abyss of nowhere. Let's take, for example, Toddlers and Tiaras, right? I've never actually seen that show, but I've heard enough of it to kind of like be aware. They're on normal TV. They have advertisement. They are monetized. They're sponsored. They have producers. But these guys who uncover these bad people online who are taking advantage of children can't. They just straight up not only cannot get monetized, but they get stricken and banned. I mean, to like what end, really? I mean, I understand that maybe YouTube might be thinking that they're harassing people. I mean, these aren't good people, but unfortunately, people like Keemstar have done things where they have harassed people who were completely innocent, and I mean, that didn't end well. I guess it's difficult. It's difficult to know who's doing it out of goodwill and who's doing it just because they need to make a video that week. It kind of sucks. That sucks. But I guess to not get too heavy-handed with everything and kind of like make a sad video just because it's like God knows what o'clock in the morning and I don't really sleep anymore. It's just, I don't know. I kind of hope things improve. I kind of hope like everyone makes at least a small video about this subject, because I mean, again, this isn't really a part of YouTube I get involved with, but it's something that I really want to be brought up to the forefront of people's attention, not only for all those content creators that do investigative journalism, but also for smaller content creators, people kind of like being squashed underneath broadcasting companies and stuff like that, not being recommended, even though, like, for example, I'm subscribed to Mama Max, I'm subscribed to most of the creators that are on that video, and I never get them in my recommended. I remember I was going through my subscribers the other day, and I found out not only do I have so many people I'm subscribed to that I never get recommendations for, like all the recommended videos I get are like random channels, or a whole bunch of older videos from people I'm already subscribed to, which is, I mean, fine. I was already going to watch that content. I mean, I get to discover new content out of it, but again, there's a discovery page, there's a trending page. I can go look at that stuff, and in my recommended, it's usually who I've been watching recently. So I watch a couple videos from certain channels, all of a sudden I go to my recommended. It's all kind of like channels within that subgenre. If I forget about a channel or I don't watch a channel, it just doesn't get recommended to me, and I can't figure out why. Like, I'm subscribed to them and they've been pumping out videos, like Mama Max has been putting out videos, and I haven't seen a single one of them. And the only reason I saw PickASideYouTube was because it showed up in my recommended for a second. Like, it showed up for a second, my feed refreshed, and it was gone. I couldn't find the video again for about the rest of the day, until the next day when some ordinary gamer, Mudahar, he put up a video talking about it, and I was finally able to find it again, because Mudahar's content is more closer to like the stuff I watch, with like IT videos, deep web videos, all that kind of like interesting stuff. And so I was finally able to find the video again through that, but I had to do all that to go find that video. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I just really hope they fix things. I really want to make this kind of like a full-time career, and it just kind of sucks. Well, that they're just kind of turning into cable television. They're just turning into TV. I mean, I remember when ads on YouTube were kind of like bearable, I could deal with them, and they were almost always skippable. And the only time they weren't skippable was just because you didn't skip the first one, and now you're forced to watch the second one. But I mean, sometimes I'm getting like 2 15-second ads like back to back. That's skippable. And I could just picture that YouTube is going to do what streaming services are thinking about doing, which is kind of like bundling themselves up, which they are doing. Actually, they're bundling themselves up with content and making it exclusive, so you have to like buy these packages of streaming services. And I mean, it's just cable. You're just buying a bunch of channels, you're buying a certain number of channels, and that's what you're going to get to watch. And I feel like YouTube is going to bundle up creators and just kind of like curate your viewing, what you decide to watch. And it's all going to be mainstream stuff that makes some money. And I really hope it doesn't. I mean, for the longest, people have been kind of like doomsaying YouTube for forever. I mean, since like Google bought them, like God knows how long ago. Like, again, they said this when the stars went away and the like and dislike thing became a thing. Every single time YouTube changes its entire look, people freak out. But now those are kind of like becoming smaller and smaller issues. YouTube is constantly changing minor things that nobody even cares about, because the major issues are still like really prominent. So sometimes it feels like they go out of their way, though, because I don't think anybody's mentioned the way like YouTube has changed in a while. And it's been changing, things here and there look different. The tag system, stuff like that, the hashtag system, the YouTube shorts, the live streaming, all that stuff kind of like gets implemented, and nobody really says anything about it. It wasn't until YouTube went like, okay, nobody's paying attention, so let's really piss them off, and they decided to take off the dislikes, and that really got people rustled. So I don't know. I don't know. But I guess to just not ramble on for too long, I'll go ahead and start ending it here. I've said everything I pretty much wanted to say. Hopeful that YouTube is going to improve, especially with me. I'm a small-time content creator. I did this as a hobby. I'm trying to do this as a job now, and I don't want to end up, you know, finally finding some income only for it to get taken away from me because a whole brand new change to TOS says, oh, actually the content you've been making is now copyright because even though America hasn't copyrighted memes, YouTube, you know, wants to go a different route, and now they're gonna control all the content, or they're gonna come up with something. And I'm worried about that, and I'm really hoping that everyone does their part pretty much with like videos like these, that if everyone does them, it's going to kind of like keep YouTube in check, and hopefully they don't think that they could just keep on they don't think they could just keep on getting away with it. To a certain extent, it's pretty much like warning signals, because YouTube kind of like barges whichever direction they feel like it, and if they don't get stopped, they just think it's okay, not enough people are complaining about it. So if enough people complain about it, I really feel that it's going to create a pretty big alarm that's going to tell YouTube, okay, I mean, we can keep on doing this, but we're probably going to lose more money doing this than going in the other direction. So I just hope that everyone, from major content creators to small-time content creators, even if it's not within their genre like mine, they kind of like come out the woodwork to just kind of like say something about it and make their opinion known. Like me, you know, maybe not a lot of people might listen to this, but at the very least, I'm going to feel good knowing that I said something and my opinion is out there, and hopefully somebody is going to do something about it. But yeah, thank you so much for, you know, taking some time out your day to listen to me ramble on about whatever nonsense I was just rambling on about. And I just want to say that the video schedule should stay pretty regular after this. Should be videos Monday and Tuesday, 6 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, and then 6 p.m. Friday, and 11 a.m. Saturday. That should be the schedule. Monday, Tuesday, Friday, 6 p.m., Saturday, 11 a.m. And it should stay consistently like that. For right now, it's just going to be Cry of Fear until, you know, more content comes out, either that or reaction content where we just kind of like watch stuff. I kind of like going the scary route, the spooky route, because all the horror content I've been watching, I love analog horror. I love scary videos. Whenever I'm not actually, you know, working or doing my job, I'm watching videos like that constantly. So I'm kind of like well versed in them. I've also seen a lot of different channels. I've seen a lot of different content on YouTube. So it's stuff I could cover, it's stuff I could talk about. And again, doing like channel reviews is something that I kind of like want to do. It's kind of like in the future, but I don't want to do it just yet. I kind of want to get a little bit more steam going, just because at first the YouTube review channel thing was just going to be me watching their content, kind of like talking about it. I have like a whole system. I have a whole thing. I have a whole thing to talk about them. But I kind of wanted to do this thing where I kind of like do more research into them. I make them higher quality videos. I make them really in depth. But I feel like I'm going to need an editor and kind of like better equipment and stuff like that to be able to do everything. So I feel like that's something I'm going to do further down in the future. But I mean, I'm kind of like putting the stamp here of just like, okay, I know what I'm going to be doing. I know what the content's going to be. So it's going to be a goal to drive towards. So hopefully everything else should come into place. But in the meantime, it's going to be games. It's going to be reviews. It's going to be memes. It's just going to be hanging out and chilling until things kind of like get rolling and we start making different content. I think that's everything, honestly. Now it's everything. Now I think it's everything. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for just sitting around, listening to me talk and jabber on about whatever. I hope you have a really nice rest of your day. I mean, these videos come out at 6 p.m. The whole goal is just kind of like catch people for dinner. So I hope you enjoyed your meal or about to enjoy your meal, and you have a good night. Bye.